Many business owners prioritize their business over personal retirement, and as a result, end up in their 40s and 50s with no personal savings for their financial future. So in this video, I'll share my top 12 recommendations to help you get back on track and how to use your business to help fund your retirement. Now, the first half of these tips will be focused on ways to make your business more attractive for a potential buyer, and the back half will dive into financial strategies you can start implementing as early as today. Now, if you don't know me, I'm a certified financial planner. I own a firm that specializes in exit planning for business owners, and I've helped many people just like you go from having no savings in their 40s and 50s to having a comfortable and enjoyable retirement in their 60s and 70s. So let's start with the first one. Shift your mindset to see your business as an asset. If you grow it and build it to have transferable value, selling your business to a potential buyer could literally change your life. I've worked with business owners who funded almost all of their entire retirement through the sale of their business, while at the same time having very little savings. Now, with that said, relying solely on selling your business for retirement is extremely risky because not all of them are guaranteed to sell. The reality is that less than 20% of businesses that go to market actually sell, often because they're too dependent on the owner. But don't worry, there are steps you can take to fix this. So let's move on to tip number 2, create automatic customers. Okay, I have a question for you. Are you the company's top salesperson? Because if so, it's time to fire yourself from that role so your business can thrive without you. One of the best ways to do this is by building a recurring revenue model where customers buy from you automatically. So think about how you can offer a service contract or a subscription that meets an ongoing need for your customers. So as an example, for an HVAC or heating and air company, this would be creating what's called maintenance agreements, where a customer will pay an X amount per month or annual per year for you to consistently show up and maintain the unit you install in their home. And in some cases, you may not make a killing on the amount you charge for the maintenance agreement, but it creates customer loyalty. You're in the customer's home more often throughout the year. You're able to build a closer relationship with the customer. And so when the main unit in their home finally breaks, who's going to be the first person they call? It's going to be you, right? Because you have the relationship. You took the time to educate the customer throughout the year. You know the names of their kids, etc. This not only stabilizes your revenue, but also makes your business way more attractive to potential buyers since it isn't dependent on you to drive the sales. Tip number 3 is vet your offerings. So take a close look at your products and services, and more specifically, the ones that require your direct involvement in creating, delivering, or selling it. So make a list of everything you offer and rate each one on a scale from 0 to 10 based on how easy it is to teach an employee to handle the task. A score of 10 means it's simple to delegate, while lower scores indicate offerings that depend heavily on you. Now, here's the key. Commit to phasing out the lowest scoring product or service that's on that list. Then revisit this exercise every quarter. Over time, this will make your business way more self-sufficient and easier to transition to a new owner when the time comes. Going back to the heating and air company or any home service business rather, if you're the one in the truck still going to all the appointments and you're on the road, that's a problem if you're trying to sell. So building a training process to start teaching new techs on how to communicate with the customer, on how to walk and work the home, build a relationship, and on top of that, knowing how to install heating and air units, that will all be vital to getting the business to a point where it doesn't depend on you to keep seeing the customers. Number 4 is get them to walk in your shoes. And here's what I mean by this. Have you ever been in the middle of work only to have employees constantly knocking on your door with questions? It can get really annoying, right? If this is the case for you, try this simple management technique. Instead of giving them an answer right away, respond with, if you own the company, what would you do? What this does is to actually encourage employees to think like an owner. And it helps them consider a solution to the problem before just coming in your office and bringing it to you. And ultimately, it helps them become more independent decision makers. If you consistently do this, your team will develop the confidence and the skills to solve issues on their own over time, lightening your workload and making sure your business is less dependent on you. Number 5 is to write an instruction manual for your business. Your business should come with a playbook. Without an instruction manual, it's a lot harder for someone else to come in there and operate it. And it's a lot harder to delegate tasks when you have to constantly explain to your team how to do it. That's why creating standard operating procedures, otherwise known as SOPs, or an employee manual, is so important. So these documents, they act as a rule book for repetitive tasks, making sure your team knows exactly what to do even when you're not there. Start with the most simple, most repetitive tasks and document those first. Then gradually work your way up to the higher value tasks. And this is because I found delegating high stakes responsibilities is tough, and if mistakes happen, they can actually cost your business money. You wouldn't send a brand new tech or representative of your company on the road meeting new customers on their own right away, right? As soon as you hire them. No, of course not. They'd probably have to learn the sales scripts first and then shadow one of your top reps for quite some time until you send them off on their own. But by having a well-documented system in place, that spells out exactly what is to happen for each of those steps. You can easily train new employees and keep operations running smoothly, again, without everything depending on you to do it. Okay, now let's shift gears and dive into the financial strategies you can start implementing in your business. And first up, tip number 6, set up a retirement plan. If you don't have a retirement plan in place yet, this is your starting point. Whether if it's an IRA, a 401k, or at a minimum, just another type of savings account, having a dedicated account to save for retirement will be critical, because without it, there's literally no foundation to build on. And the best option for you will depend on a few key factors. It'll depend on the size of your business, your profits, and whether you have employees or not. So let's break it down and review some of the most common options, starting with the easiest to set up and moving towards those that require a bit more planning and due diligence. First, there's IRAs, like the traditional or the Roth IRA. These are personal retirement accounts. You can literally open up these types of accounts at any bank or investment company. They have the lowest contribution limits, and I'll touch on those more in tip number 7, but they're accessible to anyone as long as you have an earned income. Then we have the Simplified Employee Pension IRA, also commonly known as the SEP IRA. These are for anyone who is self-employed and small business owners. It's very easy to set up, low cost to maintain the plan, and offers a wide range of investment options. The one thing I like about SEPs is they have a much higher contribution limit compared to traditional and Roth IRAs. And again, I'll touch on those exact numbers shortly. Next is the Simple IRA, meant for businesses with 100 or fewer employees. And they require both employer and employee contributions and gives you the flexibility in how you structure matching for yourself and for your employees. Now, while it involves more administrative work than compared to a SEP IRA, it provides a structured way to help employees save for retirement. Next is the traditional 401k. Now, these plans are more common in larger companies because they come with higher contribution limits and potential employer matching. They also require more administrative oversight and compliance checks, and that also comes with higher costs. So if you're running a small business, this may or may not be the easiest option depending on your size. There's also the solo 401k, which is meant for those who are self-employed with no employees, or if your only employee is your spouse, you can still qualify for this plan. Now, I love solo 401ks. They offer many of the same benefits as a traditional 401k, but with much less complexity and fewer compliance requirements. There is still some annual maintenance involved, but nothing too overwhelming. Finally, there's the profit sharing plan. So think of these as an extra layer you can add on top of a 401k plan, and they allow you to contribute even more money for yourself and your employees. Now, before you select a plan, I highly recommend doing some research, just because each option has its own benefits and rules, and it's really important to find the one that best fits your business needs and structure. So to make things easier for you, I linked a helpful guide in the description that breaks down these plans in more detail. So be sure to check that out before setting anything up on your end. Now that you have a retirement account set up, number 7 is we need to consistently add money to it. And you can set this up to be done on autopilot, either through your bank or by clicking a couple buttons in your 401k plan if you have online access. So please just don't overcomplicate it. But if you're over age 50, you also get a bonus and qualify for catch-up contributions, which allow you to put in extra money beyond the standard limits. And here's what that looks like. For IRAs, traditional and Roth, the standard contribution limit is $7,000, but if you're 50 or older, you can add an extra $1,000, bringing your total to $8,000 per year. For 401ks as an employee, you can defer up to $23,500 into your plan. The total limit, including your employer contributions, is $70,000. Now, let me break this down because this is where a lot of people get confused. If you're the owner of the business, you actually play two roles, both the employee and the employer, when it comes to funding the plan. So as the employee, you can personally contribute up to $23,500 to your 401k. And as the employer, your business, you can match your employee contributions either as a percentage or a fixed dollar amount. It just depends on how your plan is set up. On top of that, your business can also include a profit sharing plan as an extra layer. And this allows the company to add even more money to the plan, typically in January or February, since it's based on company profits, hence the name profit sharing plan. The key thing to remember is your total combined contributions between you as the employee and your business as the employer cannot exceed $70,000. For 401ks, if you're 50 or older, you can contribute an additional $7,500 in catch-up contributions. And here's a new rule starting in 2025. If you're between the ages of 60 and 63, you can contribute up to $11,250 extra as a catch-up contribution. So if you're 50 plus and your business is generating solid and consistent profits, you have a huge opportunity to stash away a significant amount of money and a big advantage in maximizing your retirement savings while at the same time leveraging your business profits in a tax-efficient way. Number 8 is to take inventory of your situation. Many of us, when we're behind in saving for our future, we immediately think the worst. We get stuck and we don't do anything about it. So try and keep perspective. If you're 50, you still have 10 to 15 years. You can accomplish a lot in 15 years if you get insanely focused and really decide to take action. Remember, your greatest asset isn't money. It's your ability to earn an income. It's not about how much you make, it's about how much you keep. And as a business owner, you have full control over how much you earn. The more you refine your product or service, increase its value to your customers, and improve your sales process, the more revenue you generate. That gives you the ability to save more, invest more, and grow your business, creating wealth along the way. So we need to have a mindset shift. If you don't believe you can become wealthy, you never will. Your mindset directly influences your actions. So if you're sitting there and keep telling yourself you can't be financially free, that'll become your reality. So don't fall into this trap. Instead, focus on what you can control. Take action and shift your mindset to see the opportunities in front of you. Number 9 is know your numbers. One of the biggest mistakes business owners make is not separating personal and business expenses. If you don't know where your money is going, you can't manage it effectively. And if you can't manage it, you can't save for retirement, you can't pay off debt or invest in your business. And that's why tracking cash flow will be so important. We need to have a clear picture of our business income and expenses and our personal income and expenses. So ask yourself, what do you own? Home equity, investments, savings accounts? What do you owe? Mortgage, credit card debt, loans? What income sources do you have? Your business, real estate, Social Security, or a pension? Even if the numbers aren't where you want them to be, this step will be crucial because a clear financial picture gives you control over your money and helps you create a realistic plan for moving forward. Number 10 is to commit to a 30-day spending audit. So for the next 30 days, track every single expense, both business and personal. And here's why. Because if you don't know where your money is going, again, you can't control it, right? If you're not already using a bookkeeping system or working with a CPA, now is the time to change that. Having the right tools in place makes managing your finances way easier. So consider using platforms like FreshBooks, QuickBooks, or Expensify. And I'm not endorsing any specific company, but just pick one that fits your budget, link your accounts, and start tracking everything automatically. And once you have all of your transactions logged, go through them. It's going to take some time, line by line, and identify wasteful spending, cut unnecessary costs, and find opportunities to save. This simple habit can make a huge difference in how much money you free up for retirement, pay off debt, and invest for business growth. Number 11 is to cut out unnecessary spending. Okay, it's time for a reality check. You're probably spending money on things you don't actually need. And that applies to both your business and your personal finances. For your business, look at where money is potentially being wasted. So that could be expensive tools or software you no longer use. It could be paying for too many tools while trying to scale too early. It could be bad accounting leading to wasted money. Or it could be overhiring or paying for unnecessary contractors, overpaying for insurance, marketing expenses that aren't delivering results, or buying fake audiences or followers on social media. And that's just the business side. Now take a look at your personal expenses. And more specifically, subscription services. You might be paying for streaming platforms, apps, and memberships, or other recurring charges that you completely forgot about. And this happens more often than you think. Many times, a quick audit will reveal hundreds of dollars a month just being wasted. This is money that could, again, be going towards retirement, paying off debt, or reinvesting in your business. So I really want you to take action here. Either reduce or completely cut out any expenses that aren't essential, because every dollar saved is a dollar that could be working for you. Number 12 is prioritize your physical and mental health. An unhealthy lifestyle leads to medical issues, and with that comes huge financial costs. Investing in your health may be the most critical thing you can do, especially if you're serious about getting your financial future back on track, because it's not going to be easy, right? Depending on your specific situation, you may have to make drastic changes like selling your expensive car and buying something more affordable. It could be downsizing your home to lower your monthly expenses. These are big lifestyle changes that can mentally and physically drain you. But when you are fit, when you have more energy, which allows you to work longer, feel better, think more clearly, and simply enjoy life more. Remember, you are your greatest asset. Take care of yourself so you can be there for your family and make the most of your financial journey. Okay, by now, if you made it this far, you have a solid game plan to get back on track financially and use your business to fund your retirement. But here's the thing. If you plan to sell your business, you want to do it the right way, right? It'll be one of the biggest financial decisions in your life. And if you're not prepared, you could leave a ton of money on the table. And that's why in my next video, I'll show you exactly how to maximize the value of your business before selling, how to avoid costly mistakes, and set yourself up for a long-term financial freedom. So click here to watch, and I'll see you over there.